being the voice of the global south, or security and growth for all in the region, that is sagar. Both of these foreign policies are very much applicable to this small island country, Seychelles, in the Indian Ocean region. This country, although a very small country, but holds immense significance for India. Immense significance for India because it helps India in extending its influence in the Indian Ocean region. I'm talking about Seychelles, a country on the eastern side of Africa, or a country in the western Indian Ocean, where India is looking to counter China's influence and China is looking to counter India's influence. So both India and China, they are now taking their competition from South Asia to West Asia and beyond, that is in Africa. So this state visit of the Indian Prime Minister to this small island country Seychelles signifies a lot of things. The first significance is that it was on the 50th Independence Day of Seychelles, and it is referred to as the National Day over there. And I talked about a term, that is state visit. Now what does this state visit mean? State visit means the Indian Prime Minister has responded to an official invitation from the government of Seychelles and went there. He went there on this occasion of the 50th National Day, the Golden Jubilee of Independence of Seychelles. And it also marks 50 years of formal diplomatic ties between India and Seychelles. It simply means that India and Seychelles established their formal diplomatic ties in the year 1976. Now, a lot of, I would say, agreements were signed. A lot of, I would say, talks were there. We will definitely see in this video that what are the areas in which we conversed with each other. Before proceeding, myself, Arpit, I am a faculty for international relations in Khan Global Studies. This topic, although from the current affairs, but is related to international relations, so I am bringing it for you guys. Now, key outcomes of the PM's visit. The first was deployment of UPI. UPI, that is Unified Payment Interface, we all use it, and around 10 countries are now accepting payments from UPI. Is Seychelles going to be the 11th? Yes, probably it can be, because NPCI International Payments Limited, that is National Payments Corporation of India, which is hosting UPI, and the Bank of Seychelles, the Central Bank of Seychelles, they signed an MOU. Signing an MOU does not mean that UPI has started working in Seychelles. They've agreed upon, and in the times to come, UPI will be active in Seychelles. UPI is also a testament to our digital public infrastructure. Second is Seychelles becomes a member of CDRI. Now here CDRI stands for Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure. Now this is one such international organization which is headquartered in India. Apart from CDRI, International Solar Alliance and the International Big Cat Alliance are two other major organizations which are headquartered in India. Coming back to CDRI, what is CDRI? Just a brief explanation about it, since it has, it is a term in news, or it is an organization in news. The Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure is a knowledge hub or a repository of the global best practices for making disaster resilient infrastructure. How can we make an infrastructure disaster resilient? A classic example, earlier we had overhead electricity transmission cables. Now also we have it in certain cities, including Delhi. What if we make these electricity transmission cables underground? So whenever disasters like, heat waves or storms, dust storms will come, that particular infrastructure will not be damaged because it is underground. That infrastructure has been made disaster resilient. So CDRI is I would say, expert hub or a knowledge hub of global best practices of making infrastructure disaster resilient. India proposed it, India headquarters it, and Seychelles has become the 58th member of CDRI. So 57 members were already there, and Seychelles has become the 58th member. Umbrella line of credit, we've given a line of credit of 1250 crore rupees to Seychelles. This line of credit Seychelles will be using in developmental projects like infrastructure development and all. Then Jan Aushadhi cooperation. Jan Aushadhi cooperation, Jan Aushadhi, whenever this term comes, you should clearly know the fact that we are talking about generic medicines. The generic medicines, what are these? Let's suppose I am a pharma company owner. I create a medicine, let's suppose for dengue. So there is no medicine for dengue, but I create a medicine, I do research and development, and I develop a medicine for dengue. And when I develop, I go for a patent. Patenting it simply means that no other pharma manufacturer in the world can make that medicine without my permission. And I can take royalty amount from the other pharma manufacturing company who wants to make that medicine. But that patent will be given to me for a certain period only. Let's suppose 8 years. After 8 years, when my patent expires, now any pharma company is eligible to manufacture that medicine. And I will not be able to take any royalty fees from them, or I will not be able to sue them in any court of law of the world. So the medicines which are being made by other manufacturers after the patent has expired are referred to as generic medicines. They have the same formulations, they have the same formula, same salt, everything same effectivity most probably, and they are cheaper in cost because the other pharma company did not invest money in research and development, did not enjoy monopoly like I did. And India is the largest manufacturer of generic medicines in the world, and that is why we are referred to as pharma capital of the world. And one of our biggest export destination for pharma, this generic pharmas, is Africa. So we have done this agreement between HLL Lifecare Limited and Seychelles Ministry of Health to facilitate affordable generic medicines. They are affordable, normally they are affordable. The attempt is to make them more affordable for a country like Seychelles. And in India also we are promoting the usage of generic medicines. There is a scheme going on which is called as Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana. Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana. If we abbreviate it, it is going to be PMBJP. What a coincidence. Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana. So coincidences like these do happen. Then next is the national hospital development. There was an MOU signed between the governments of both the countries for developing a modern national hospital in Seychelles. So this is cooperation in healthcare. Then next is extradition treaty. What is extradition treaty? If someone commits a crime in India and goes to Seychelles, then the government of Seychelles is liable to arrest that person and hand him over or her over to India. If this treaty is signed. If this treaty is not signed, then government of Seychelles will not be liable. Now since this treaty has been signed, so now the government of Seychelles is liable to arrest any individual who has committed a crime in India and fled to Seychelles, to hand him over or to hand that individual over to India, and vice versa. If someone has committed crime in Seychelles and come to India, it is the liability on the government of India to arrest that person and hand that person to the government of Seychelles. Now this will help in tackling crimes like drug trafficking, financial crimes and other transnational offences. So yes, definitely this is very, very important. The next is maritime mobility. An MOU was signed for mutual recognition of training and certification of Indian seafarers. Indian seafarers means merchant navy people, those who are on the merchant ships. Now Indians will be allowed to sail on the Seychelles flag bearing merchant navy ships. Now this is the agreement all about. Next is diplomatic capacity building. So institutional cooperation between Sushma Swaraj Institute of Foreign Services and Seychelles Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Diaspora. So they both will be collaborating with each other. Talking about the term diaspora, diaspora is basically a term which is derived from a Greek word diasperin, means people who have dispersed. Diasperin means dispersion. So diaspora is people who have dispersed, and India has the biggest diaspora in the world. In around 200 countries of the world, there is Indian diaspora present. Seychelles, 10 to 12% of the population of Seychelles is Indian diaspora. Those people were taken by the Britishers. Britishers took them as farmers or laborers, made them work. Britishers left, they stayed. Their future generations were born, and hence they became the Indian diaspora. Space cooperation, again, we have a fair, I would say, advantage in this, that our space agency is, developed, ISRO, and space, space technology is needed by, almost every country for economic development, for military, I would say, development. Space is a very vital component, or space tech is a very vital component, and hence we are collaborating with Seychelles in terms of satellite applications, remote sensing, which will help in climate monitoring, disaster management, weather prediction, things like these. Then agricultural research work plan 2026 to 2021. Obviously, no need to say that India is agriculturally way more advanced than Seychelles. Seychelles, the biggest challenge is land area. There are small islands which make this country. But yes, agriculture has to be there, because food is the mother of all basic necessities. So we are collaborating for agricultural research, technical cooperation, and food security initiatives. We've also pledged to grant some food aid to Seychelles. The next is defense and maritime cooperation. We definitely are relying on Seychelles. Seychelles is definitely, I would say, an eye of India in the Indian Ocean region. But apart from being an eye, there is defense trade also. Like India handed over PS L'Espoir, a made in India fast patrol vessel built by Goa Shipyards Limited, to Seychelles Coast Guard. India also gifted ambulances, utility vehicles, laser radial boats, so that maritime capabilities of Seychelles can be enhanced. This will enhance, obviously, maritime surveillance capabilities of Seychelles. Next is Guardian of the Blue Horizon Award. This is a civilian award which was given to our Prime Minister PM Modi, and this award recognizes his contributions towards climate action, blue economy. Blue economy is any economic activity related to the waters, sustainable ocean governance, development of small island developing states, SIDS. So SIDS, Seychelles is an SIDS. The United Nations has created these kind of categories. Those countries which are small and they are islands, they are categorized as small island developing states, and they are at the threat of submergence due to sea level surface rise, due to global warming, because global warming is leading to glacial melting. Glacial melting is leading to sea surface level rise, and sea surface level rise can impact these small island developing states. So we need to cooperate with them, and this is what our Prime Minister had done, and for that he had received this honor, that is the Guardian of the Blue Horizon Award. Now, two things you need to note over here with respect to this award. First, it was constituted just before the Indian Prime Minister's visit to Seychelles. This simply means that our Prime Minister became the first recipient of this award. Second was, there was a video circulating on the internet, or multiple videos you can say circulating on the internet, that this award was AI generated because the spelling of Seychelles on this seal was wrong. This was, just a gimmick kind of thing. But that was wrong. That was wrong information which was, being circulated on the internet. The image which was being circulated on the internet was basically a draft image while formulating this award by the government of Seychelles. Obviously, In draft, there can be mistakes, and so there were. But there were videos being made on the internet calling that the original award and finding out spelling mistakes on it and then referring it to as an AI generated award. So this is what things can happen in this digital world. Misinformation can spread too much. So till now we've covered that what all agreements, or I would say what all outcomes were there of Prime Minister's visit to Seychelles, Prime Minister's state visit to Seychelles, I would say. But in the second segment we'll see why is Seychelles strategically important for India. Now Seychelles, the location, if you see, of Seychelles, this is Seychelles. This is Africa, this is India over here. Okay. Now, if I make Seychelles on this map, I'll make it over here. Okay, just north of Madagascar. Now, Bab el Mandeb, which leads to Red Sea, then Suez Canal. This is Suez Canal. Strait of Hormuz, we all know this. Then Cape of Good Hope down here in Africa, and then this is the Madagascar Channel or Mozambique Channel we call it. So Mozambique Channel is over here, Bab el Mandeb is over here, Cape of Good Hope over here, and Seychelles over here. Seychelles location is near to various, I would say, crucial trade routes or choke points. This is the first strategical importance of Seychelles. Second strategic importance of Seychelles, countering China's influence. As I mentioned in the beginning, China is trying to counter India's influence in the Indian Ocean region, and India is trying to counter China's influence in the Indian Ocean region. This is very much true. There was, once a time when we said that there is competition between India and China in South Asia. But from South Asia, this competition has gone to West Asia and Africa also nowadays. China's string of pearls has extended to Africa. Djibouti, we extended to Seychelles. So definitely this country, Seychelles, is very much significant in countering China's influence. Then second is maritime security cooperation. We have this information fusion center of the Indian Ocean region. It is basically an eye in the Indian Ocean region for maritime surveillance and all. So we have opened this we have established this in Seychelles. It is called as IFC IOR. So kind of, I would say, very, very crucial for us for enhancing our surveillance capabilities in the Indian Ocean region. And we have done this in Seychelles. Then blue economy cooperation, I've already told you what blue economy is. So Seychelles as a very huge EEZ, that is exclusive economic zone of 1.3 million square kilometers, where a lot of mineral resources are expected to be there, and we can definitely, harness them or exploit them. And Seychelles can act as gateway to Africa because it is part of African Union and Indian Ocean Commission, which are two very crucial multilateral organizations in Africa. So, establishing stable ties and good ties with Seychelles definitely can help us in this direction, that is our engagement with the entire continent. How have been India-Seychelles bilateral ties? Let us look into that as well. Obviously, the ties are multi-dimensional, as we have got to know till now. But let us look that in what dimensions, what level of engagement is there. First is diplomatic relations. Our formal diplomatic relations were established in the year 1976, making 2026 50 years, that is the golden jubilee of our formal diplomatic ties also, apart from it being the golden jubilee of Seychelles independence. And when Seychelles got independence, we sent INS Nilgiri and participated in Seychelles Independence Day celebrations in 1976. Talking about defense cooperation, So defense cooperation, first though IFCIOR, Information Fusion Center in the Indian Ocean region, it is there. Then apart from it, we do an exercise, bilateral exercise Lametier with them. Then multilateral exercise, Milan naval exercise, we do with them. Apart from it, we give training to the Seychelles forces. So this is the level of our defense cooperation. Then trade and investment, overall trade between India and Seychelles is 73 million USD, and India has a surplus as compared to Seychelles, means India exports more to Seychelles. We export items like rice, pharmaceuticals, medical instruments, vehicles. Two-wheelers are very, very prominent, like Bajaj and this company Hero. Their motorcycles are very popular in Seychelles, in fact in Africa. Then human resource development. More than 1% of Seychelles population are alumni of India's ITEC program. ITEC is Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation Program, where we are teaching skills, where we are teaching them various courses in graduation. And under this ITEC program, we have also established one IIT in Africa, not in Seychelles, but in Africa, Zanzibar, IIT Zanzibar it is, under the, I would say, aegis of IIT Bombay. So this ITEC program is a pan-African program which is aimed at, human resource development, whether skills or education among the Africans, and Seychelles definitely is a major recipient of it. Then talking about climate and energy cooperation, Seychelles is the founding member of International Solar Alliance. This was announced in 2015. Very, very important major organization of the world, which aims to collaborate on the basis of energy, solar energy or renewable energy we can say, and it aims to mobilize money and technology from the developed countries and multilateral bodies like World Bank and all. Then CDRI, very recently Seychelles has become part of. We've seen that. Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure. Diaspora links, around 5,000 persons of Indian origin are there, 7,000 NRIs are there. They're working in Seychelles. Seychelles has a huge, I would say, tourism potential as well. But yes, no relationship is without their own challenges. Hence, there are challenges between India and Seychelles as well. The first is geopolitical competition between India and China. At times, Seychelles plays the China card with us. India, you are not doing, China will do. Then this increases, I would say, challenging situations between India and Seychelles. Then next is maritime security constraints. Seychelles faces difficulties in monitoring its vast EEZ. Its exclusive economic zone is vast. Exclusive economic zone is that region in the oceans where you can do any economic activity, extract any economic resources. So threats include illegal fishing, piracy, drug trafficking. It is not a big deal that Seychelles can be used as a terror launchpad against India, because its capacity is very less in monitoring such kind of challenges. Then limited economic engagement. Trade is hardly $73 million, but yes, we need to increase that, and we need to ensure that trade is sustainable, trade is balanced. We also need to increase imports from Seychelles. Probably we can install Indian companies over there, Indian industries over there. Those industries can cater to Africa, nearby countries, and to India also. That can be the strategy. So we can do this. Connectivity constraints are there. Port infrastructure, connectivity infrastructure is not there. But yes, that needs to be developed. Then institutional capacity constraints. Limited administrative and technical manpower can slow project execution. Like now we have established ties between Sushma Swaraj Foundation for International Relations and the Ministry of External Affairs and Diaspora of Seychelles. So that was missing. Let's see how this partnership works. But yes, this institutional capacity becomes very important to deepen the ties. Then supply chain vulnerabilities are there because infrastructure or connectivity infrastructure is not developed, hence this vulnerability is there. But yes, we can definitely overcome these and we can definitely look for way forward. When it comes to way forward for UPSC, you need to keep one thing in mind, that is the challenges. How to rectify the challenges, that becomes your way forward. As simple as that. So, first way forward is enhance maritime domain awareness. Why? Because challenges like maritime piracy, maritime terrorism, those can be tackled. Promote scientific diplomacy. See, science and technology development and all is less in Seychelles. That is why overall economic capacity of Seychelles is less. So yes, and Seychelles has a huge exclusive economic zone. So we can promote, deep ocean missions like India has its deep ocean mission. We can collaborate with Seychelles and we can explore their EEZ, their deep oceans. Definitely minerals are found over there. Then climate finance innovation. Seychelles definitely is vulnerable to climate change, global warming. It needs its infrastructure to be disaster resilient. For that, money has to be there. Money has to flow. So climate finance innovation becomes very important. Energy and climate mapping. So lack of energy leads to lack of economic activity. What if we help developing this energy over there, and best would be renewable energy. So that will make it very, very, I would say, suitable for a country like Seychelles. We can explore other energies also, ocean thermal energy conversion, OTEC assessments. Coral reef monitoring we can do, marine heat wave forecasting we can do through those satellites which we have launched, or we will launch, not yet launched, but we will launch. And deepen development partnership with Seychelles. Development is something which every country on this earth needs. So yes, we can go forward in multiple domains with Seychelles, and we should ensure a win-win situation. We should not let this perception among the people of Seychelles develop that India is here to dominate. India is not here to dominate. India is here to cooperate, because India has shed off its big brother attitude, and India now focuses on co-development or equal development partners. And this is what India wants to do in Seychelles. India should be active. In fact, India should be proactive. India should be considerate, and India then only will be voice of the global south, of which India and Seychelles both are part. So with this, we come to an end of this particular topic. I'll be seeing you for other topics. Till then, stay tuned. Namaste. Jai Hind.